Um, Welcome back to yet another edition of the Dirty Dozen podcast. I'm your guest. Well, actually, I'm not the guest. I'm the host manager, as always, Marco, manager of Bounce Back Busters. And we're not really doing such a good job bouncing back. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. I'm here at the bar with manager of Border Czar, Chris Cataldo. Man, this is going to be a good pod. What's up, my brother?
What's up, my brother? We're gonna have some fun tonight. We got a packed pod tonight.
We got a packed pod. And I'm sorry that that's weird. I'm sorry. Let's do gallery. Yeah, I'm sorry that we couldn't do this last night. Well, today is actually October 7th, 2021. Week 5 is already kicked off. The Seahawks and the Rams are playing. But we couldn't do this until today. Chris was busy doing other things, so we're on. If you want to tell the pod what you were doing, go for it. But if not, let's just say that Chris asked for a favor for me, and I gave him my blessing, and that's really that's really all you need to know.
I frantically called Marco before. I'm like, hey man, like something came up, like I just can't do it. I mean. I had somebody, one of my friends call me up. I had to meet her at the bar, and so
let's go. You know what? We're here for the boys, baby. If the boys gotta get work in, we let them put in work. The pod puts on hold, but it doesn't matter. He's still here, and we're still doing this. So let's kick this right off. So we're actually gonna switch it up a little bit today. We're actually going to switch it up a little bit today. We are going to do the power rankings, but if you recall from last year, we had the 4 categories. I don't even remember what the other category was. I just know the first 2 on, is it I don't know, whatever. Anyway, that was a lot of mumbo jumbo. That was bad for the pod. Anyway, so we're gonna do our 4 categories again: the championship contenders, the on the cusp. Then there's like another category that's in between. I don't really remember what it is. I'll have to look it up and just send it in. But it's like close but no cigar, or like just nearly there. And then it's obviously the bottom feeders. So we're going to start doing that every single week because we are a month in. So Chris and I are going to focus a little bit more on that than the actual power rankings, but we're still going to give our rankings. Are you ready to kick it off, Chris?
I'm ready to kick it off.
Let's do it. So every week I mess this up and I try to screen share so I can screen share. Let's see if I could. I don't want to screen share a whiteboard. I want to screen share my screen. Let's try that. I wonder if that'll work. Like, I'm sharing my screen and I'm hoping that I can see this, but I doubt I can't. I don't know. We'll just do this for now and then I'll take it. Okay, so anyway, so the first number 1 on the power rankings this week is this still number 1, Ante. Ante's number 1 on the power rankings. What do you got to say about Ante's team, Chris?
I'd say that Ante's team has been like very surprisingly consistent, and like just like really looking at it, like he's shown up like every single week, and I think like from looking at his lineup too, like I really like Kirk. Because he has 2 very talented receivers, and J Jeff and
you have J Jeff.
and Thielen, obviously.
You have J Jeff.
He doesn't. I'm saying that helps Cousins. That makes Cousins.
Oh,
good.
That helps Cousins. I was so confused. I was like, and he has J Jeff. I was like, oh, does not have J Jeff.
Tyreek Hill. I think Cooper Kupp is really, really good as well. And Mike Williams is nice. I like Herbert.
He has 3 top 5 wide receivers right now. Like literally 3 top 5 wide receivers.
All I know is I just want to know like what the hell they put in those pancakes, because this kid really happy.
Yeah, it stoked some fire in his ass, which is funny. Yeah. So I'll guide it. So what do we like? Give me like one thing that we really like about his team, one thing that we think we can see improvement on his team, and we'll do this for everybody's, and then where we put them in the brackets. I'll have to so tell me what you like and dislike about his team, or what he might need to improve on, and then I'll look for the file. So I'll stop sharing. I'll look for the file where I had all that other shit. So go for it.
Okay. Yeah. So from looking at it, it's one thing I really, really like about this team. The Tyreek Hill, Mike Williams stack. These guys are both like very big, deep threats. So it's they're consistent in scoring points, but they can also really boom. And I don't really see a lot of downside like with those two. And Cooper Kupp is Cooper Kupp. He's just consistent. He's going to be like, your 15, 20-point guy like every single week. So I love Monte's receiving core. I mean, just from like looking at it,
He's a
I'd say like
beast.
point Kyle Pitts like tight end. I just don't like anything Atlanta just because I think they're like a booty team.
Ah, no, that's not it.
So
There we go. There we go. I found it.
where is it?
I found it. So it's championship contenders, on the cusp, contenders, middle of the road, and then the bottom feeders. That's what it is. So what do we think we need? What do we think Conte needs improvement?
Tight end spot. He needs improvement.
Yeah, I mean it's the first year tight end. It's clearly not panning out. He might have a good matchup this week. There's a couple of receivers not playing, and he's playing the Jets, so he might have a good matchup. But I think he could use some help at wide receiver, tight end, and he could probably use help at RB too. So
he could definitely use help at RB2. Like Miles Sanders, it's not really like impressive. Like I don't really like the Eagles O line that much. So
where is he on the list? Contender, on the cusp, middle of the road, bottom feeder.
So Ante's definitely a contender this year. Nice. I think if all those receivers stay healthy, we're gonna have a problem.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. Next up on the power rankings, number 2 this week is Josh. Josh is number 2. Josh is one of 2 3-1 teams in the league. And I will screen share so you guys can see what his team looks like this week. So I think Josh make a trade. No, he didn't. No, Josh didn't make a trade since this happened. Yeah, so this is Josh's team. What do we like? What do we dislike? I mean, what do we like about this team? What do we think he needs to improve on? And where is he on my categories?
Yeah, so I mean, Josh's team is like really, really solid. I love the tight end spot. Mark Andrews. I mean, I think he's good. Love Stephon Diggs. And Joe Burrow. I think I like him as a QB. I think the kid's like really like coming into his own. Like he's a competitor, And I'd definitely toss him to start like every single week. Like if I didn't have like Rodgers on my team and like I had Burrow, like had like another option in Tannehill, I'd probably start Burrow.
Yeah.
I like Eckler too. Like all those guys are like high energy. The running backs on this team are very, very solid.
Yeah, he has like Joe Burrow is probably the biggest like honestly, like if he had a better quarterback, his team would be absolutely. I mean, it is loaded, but I think if he had a better quarterback, it'd be pretty hard to beat. Not saying that Burrow's great and he's going to get you his 17 to 20, but I think there's less of a chance for him to get 30. But looking at Josh's team for me, it's like pure PPR. He's got one of the best PPR running backs. He's got another really good RB2, and then his 3 receivers are PPR monsters. It's just AR is not having that great of a season right now, but other than that, they're monsters. And even Andrews is pretty good too. And he's got the number 2 kicker, which he knows I love. So what do you think we can see some improvement in this team?
I think one thing just like really just sticks out to me, and I know this like really like this isn't like a deep position either, but like I see him like Steelers defense. Like I don't like anything about the Steelers. Like and obviously like a lot of guys in this league, like myself included, like I stream like a lot, but like Josh like he has a good bench. Like I like Hardman a lot. Like he's a high flyer on the Chiefs team. So maybe just like flipping someone on the bench for like a more consistent option. Because like I know those defenses like them dropping 1 point points. Like when you have like some guys going off and getting 10, like that differential always hurts.
Yeah. That's a good thing. That's a good thing for Josh. If the only thing that you're really concerned with is his defense. So I think he'll take that. Where do we have him on the 4? On the 4, whatever. I don't even know the categories are called. I'm so shot.
Is it 4? It's contender, middle of the road.
It's championship contender, on the cusp, middle of the road, bottom feeder.
Okay. Ooh, shit. Oh man, honestly, and I know I texted him before this. He's like a fluke 3-1, which. Okay.
Do you need a drum roll?
I'm gonna have to give him like right on the cusp.
He's on the cusp. Josh is on the cusp. Nice. Okay. Oh, by the way, I'm not gonna say, so I've had a couple of really unlucky weeks the last couple of weeks, and we'll get to my team when we get to my team, but I'm not going to say anything bad about anybody's team this week because I think I talk too much about people's teams and it bites me in the ass. And I end up, I said this last year on the pod too, but today, all nice things about people's teams. Every single one of them. Number 3 on the rankings this week is the man, the myth, the legend himself. It is Chris Cataldo, who is the manager he was the guest manager today. I guess I usually talk about the team first, so I'll do what you were doing, and then you could defend your team. What I love about this team is how I really like how structured it is. It's, to me, it's like if you have a PPR team, if you have a 12-man league PPR, this is exactly how you should structure it. A very like a top 10 quarterback, a monster RB1, bona fide RB2 that doesn't get that many touches on the ball, but makes uses of their touches and also gets receptions. Honestly, I still say it. You probably, besides Cooper Kupp and Tyreek Hill, obviously, I think you have the second best duo wide receiver combo in the league. Your flex has been in and out because of Claypool's injuries and things like that. But honestly, Leonard Fournette has been pretty good. He's been very serviceable. He scored 17 points last week, and it seems like the Bucs have been using it. And then, so I really like the structure that you created with your team. What I think you need to work on is honestly, well, Gronk was out, and Gronk's still tight end 3, so I don't even think you need a tight end anymore. Austin Hooper sucks, but I don't think you need a tight end because you have Gronk. Maybe try to get a better flex. Claypool and Fournette are viable options, but I think if you could upgrade, maybe even put both of them in a trade to upgrade at flex, I think that's money for you, and then the rest of your team is smooth sailing from there. And I would put you as a championship contender. Like I really would. If you had this team stayed healthy the rest of the season, I would put you as a championship contender. Go for it. Defend your team.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to say honestly, like from this lineup and like how I tried to piece this together this year is that, I know what I did last year and like, taking that first pick of like being McCaffrey, and like I feel like in my draft last year I tried to hit home runs with people, like really, really boomer bust. But this year I kind of just tried to like take a step back, try to get balance, try to get some depth on the bench, and just like kind of stick to like, the basics of the the pairs, combos between quarterbacks, receivers, tight ends, what I think would work. Like obviously the Gronk Brady connection, that's always going to be there. And listen, like, it's always going to be that question every year. Like as Gronk and Brady get older, like, oh, like when is this duo going to like kind of like, like fizzle away? But like they're a Super Bowl team. Like they're good. Like they kick ass. That's here to stay for now, at least. Kareem Hunt, that pick was solely because I like him and Chubb kind of complementing each other, because you got to look at it as a D-line gets hit by those two guys like a whole game. Like by the fourth quarter they're not going to be able to stop those guys. They're animals. And then Derrick Henry is Derrick Henry.
I love Derrick.
Derrick Henry is Derrick. Like I said.
Oh my God. I think he's the best. He's probably like Christian McCaffrey is like the best running back for fantasy football, but Derrick Henry is the best running back in football. Like, there's no question about it. Like, it's not even close. At least like that. Like, if you what you think what a running back should literally do is just plow over people, and that's what he does. He rushes for 1,000,000 yards a game. He's so sick. But and he's definitely not on the block.
Yeah, no, Derrick Henry is not on the block this year. I'm not even thinking about it. Not even thinking about it. Yeah, but and then the Ravens D. Honestly, I'm kicking myself for taking that pick like so early on because they are just like so inconsistent.
Yeah, well, Steelers have been bad. Steelers haven't been good. Washington hasn't been good. Ravens have been okay. Like, it's defenses are not easy to figure out. So defenses are not easy to figure out. So where would you put yourself?
And I don't
Talk your shit. Let's go.
I don't want to be biased like when I say this, guys. So like I'm just saying it like coming at it. I might be like biased because I just like I picked this team. I think
Come on.
Contenders.
Let's go. Don't talk
so, like when Chase Claypool and Gronk is back, there's no weak spot here besides defense.
Talk that shit. I love that. Number 4 in the power rankings, a guy that we've been shitting on all year long. And if you look at the statistics, he's been the hottest team in our league. Besides Ante's, I guess. Even though Ante had a little bit of a game last week. Keenan at number 4 in the power rankings this week. And I looked at the spread, the achievement spread, and I was like, damn, Keenan's now 3rd in the achievement spread, only 2 points behind, and he's broken his projection 3 weeks in a row. And with the trade he made with Josh, his team is very well rounded. Like, let me show you guys. And then again, Chris, you could let me know what we like, what we think he needs to work on, and where he is. Opposing teams, hotbox.org.
I love that name. I love that name.
Championship contender just based on that name. Yeah, I mean, he's starting Zach Ertz. I love it. An ex-buster. Oh, so he doesn't really have a tight end. He has that and Max Williams. Who was his tight end beforehand?
I don't know.
Oh, Logan Thomas. He's on IR.
Oh yeah, I just saw that. Okay.
That's actually not a bad play for him to start Zach Ertz. Go for it. What do we like and what do we dislike?
I dislike the Chase Edmonds, DeAndre Hopkins stack there, because like those guys like.
So do I.
Both superstars and like each are kind of going to vulture each other's touchdowns. In a way, because like Arizona, they can only score 1 score per drive.
I'll give Keenan credit. Like, I don't like doing that. I don't like having position players on the same team on my fantasy team like that because I think you're putting too many eggs in one basket like that. But if there is one offense that I would probably be okay doing that, besides the Rams, it would be the Cardinals. Like, DeAndre Hopkins hasn't really played that well, and he's still wide receiver 24. And Chase Edmonds is running back 12. And his backup is running back 25. Like, eventually I would move off one of them just because I don't know. Like, yeah. I had an opportunity to draft Odell, and I didn't just because I didn't want Chubb and Odell. And I don't know. But give credit because it's still a good duo.
I give him credit. If he were to move one of those guys and like actually be like at a winning end of a trade, I like this team like a lot better.
His wide receiver core is actually really good too.
Yeah, Keenan just snapped me before this too, and he literally was sitting there, some kind of fucking headset in, and he just goes like, "Oh, like you still salty from that ass beating you took?" Yeah, like, all right. So, maybe I would have given him contender, but I mean, I don't know now.
He actually has his entire starting lineup right now is all in the top 24 in their position, which is really impressive.
Yeah, it is. I like the team a lot. Yeah, I love Mike Evans. I think DJ Moore is nice too.
Yeah, DJ Moore is going to finish the top 5 wide receiver if he's healthy.
Oh yeah, which is I think it's a steal. He's good.
What do we think he can improve on? Obviously tight end, but he just got injured.
Mhm.
And other than that, we both think that he might like eventually we both would move off one of the Cardinals players, right?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what
yeah. I'd also love to bring up like everybody was shitting on him for drafting Saquon, including me. In the first 2 weeks, I was like, dude, what are you doing? Saquon's finally like fully healthy and he's a monster.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Saquon, the guy's an athlete. He's just like the guy's a physical
I
specimen.
should have bought him like 2 weeks ago. Bought him low 2 weeks ago on him, but
Yeah, he's gonna be
whatever.
once that team gets rolling, he's gonna be really good.
Where do we think this team is?
I think this team has like a ton of potential, and like just like preface this, like guys, like when I say like on the cusp, like versus like championship contenders, not like the on the cusp. A lot of these teams, it's really too early to tell yet.
Yeah.
Like an on the cusp team still can be like just as much like in the run like as any like championship contender, like we mentioned on this. But I think this is definitely on the cusp team.
I agree.
I think like he moves a couple pieces around. Saquon stays healthy. DeAndre Hopkins, Mike Evans. Like I think it's going to be a good team. And if you think about it, DeAndre, Mike Evans, DJ Moore. Those are 3 superstars. That's good. That's a force. I like that a lot. So I think he needs to make a move at RB2. Personally, that would be me, what I say. But I think that's the only hole I can poke is that DeAndre Hopkins, Chase Edmonds for now. And of course, with Logan Thomas being down, that sucks. So yeah, and James Conner, you got James Conner on the bench too, which is the handcuff. Okay, so that makes sense. Yeah, that's all I got for that.
I love it. So number 5 in the power rankings. Number 5 in the power rankings is myself. I put myself 7th, but Chris put me 2 because Chris loves me and we're boys. But I put myself 7th. I mean, we put me 5th, 1 and 3, but I'm still a top 5 team, which I don't know. Let's take a look at the Busters, my team. Sorry, I got preoccupied for a second. All right, well, go for it, and then you say what you got to say about my team, and then I'll defend myself.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the first thing I want to preface this off and like defend this 2 ranking is because think about it, right? Like, I'm not basing like my power rankings that I'm putting together off of wins and losses yet. There's a lot of weeks in this season, and we've passed how many weeks now? It's like 4 weeks. This is week 5, right? Anybody can, if you're in last, if you haven't won a game right now, you can still be in playoff contention, like in a numbers game, right? And looking at the spread differential of points, okay, points 4. We can go down the list right now, okay? Afghan military, stupid name, 518 points.
Stupid name.
Bounce back busters, 527 points. So essentially, there's a 9-point spread on Marco having the most points scored in the league. And the fact that he's like 1 and 3, like, let's be honest here, like, come on, like that's bullshit luck. At that point,
I lead the league in score. I lead the league in scoring and have the best point whatever spread differential thing. But I'm 1 and 3, and my combined losses. I have 3 combined losses by a total of less than 9.5 points. So I mean, is what it is. With the show goes on. We keep chugging. We keep chugging along. It is. It is what it is. It's just part of. It just comes with being the manager of the Busters.
Yeah, I mean, even me, like when I look at this, like I can cry about the points against 532. I don't even think any. Actually, no, Big Elf is close to that. But everyone goes.
I think I'm 4th most now because of DJ only scored 109 against me, so I think I'm 4th most.
Yeah, no, knowing my luck, I think Binko will probably like if he like entered his team in like some crazy ESPN league, he'd probably have like the highest points scored like the United States this week. But what do I know? So let's go into the analysis on
What
that.
do we think? So what do we think I need to work on here?
Okay. So
I
I'll start
mean,
off.
well, what do we love?
Okay.
Did you
So
mention that? I think you did.
I just was talking about the differential. I didn't even get
Oh, you
into
were
it.
talking about how awful my luck is.
Yeah. So
What do we like about the
the thing
Busters?
I love about this team: scrambled eggs. Brandon Cooks
Dude,
at the flex. He's the man at the flex.
wide
The man.
receiver 9,
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure you got him for. I don't really know the details, but you got him for a steal, right?
7th round, I think.
Okay, perfect. Yep, I love that. Love that. I like Godwin a lot. I think, especially with the Gronk absence, like all those guys are going to be getting more looks.
I think Godwin is better when Gronk plays, to be
Yeah,
honest.
the way I'm just thinking about it is like I don't want to use that term vacated targets because I think that's bullshit. But I guess what I think is Gronk scores a ton of touchdowns, so take him out of the picture, and then there's more touchdowns to go around on that team. Hold on, just 1 second.
I just think Godwin, I think with Gronk's presence there, it spreads the field more. And it puts a lot of defensive pressure on the linebackers to defend Gronk. And it just makes the wide receivers more open for Brady. I guess. I mean, every time I don't know, I guess that's what I think. I just love my stack.
Yeah, no, I love the stack too. So another thing I love is Nick Chubb, and I think this is the same reason like why I love Kareem Hunt. It's just because like both those guys, like a D line is not going to be able to stop that 1-2.
Yeah, I just need Chubb to punch in a touchdown once in a while, like once a game. If he punches in a touchdown once a game, then we're chilling.
Yeah,
because he doesn't get much pass work. But
yeah, he's a volume guy. Kareem Hunt's like a pass guy.
yeah,
But I'd say Devontae Adams. That man is different. Like him and Aaron Rodgers, like that's like the equivalent like times 5 of like a Brady Gronk connection. Like those two, like there's not a defense like in the NFL that can really.
I love watching Devontae Adams work on the sideline, bro. Do his sideline shit. It's so fun to watch.
If you think about it, it's a matchup resistant stack.
Yeah.
Matchup resistant. So
what do we think I need to work on? I mean, so I guess we'll mention that I made a trade this week. I had David Montgomery go down. You see he's out. So I had to make a trade. I sent away Marquise Brown, Noah Fant, and Mike Davis to Zach Wisprun. And in return, I received Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I received Tyler Higbee and Brandon Asiuk. So I made a move. So now I have an RB2 again. I lost a wide receiver that I really liked, but I have an RB2 again, and I still have David Montgomery here. So when Montgomery comes back in about a month, I actually now have 3 running backs, like 3 really good running backs. Well, 3 good, like 1 really good one and 2 good ones. So I have some room. I have some options now.
Definitely options. And then when Montgomery's back too, I mean, you could start playing around because you have the flex of Brandon Cooks. So
yeah,
more moves and like get some more depth. You trade for a tight end, like flipping one of those guys. You can definitely with this, you can get stronger at the tight end spot, and then we'll really be talking with this team. I love this team.
Where do we have it?
Well, I said I prefaced this too. Like I'm not basing this off games won and lost. This is a championship.
Oh, everyone's gonna hate this podcast. So it's me, you, and Ante as championship contenders. Everyone's gonna hate this podcast.
I told them why. I'm not looking at games won or lost.
6 in the power rankings this week. 6 in the power rankings this week was Vinko. Vinko rounds out the top 6. Vinko's also 3-1. But I'm sure we have a lot to say. Vinko's team. He has McCaffrey back. That's good. And McCaffrey's projected 27.5. That's good.
Yeah, well, I hope Olivia Culpo keeps him another week on the IR for my sake. But no, I really like this team.
Wow, yo, he's projected 133.5 this week.
Yeah, it's insane.
That's
McCaffrey
sick.
is a fantasy point machine. Like he just gets so much volume, like PPR animal. Like McCaffrey being healthy, like that's someone that like kind of just like transforms the entire like trajectory like of a team because you still have a chance to win even if your team happens to suck that week just because of how good he is. I like Jamar Chase a lot. That was actually a pick I was gonna try to make in the draft. I think the kid's got talent. I like Burrow, and I think he's like a talented guy. And I think like as the season goes on, he's gonna get better. AJ Brown, always solid.
Tennessee's wide receivers have been disappointing thus far, though. Hoping they can turn it around.
It's gonna turn around. It's gonna turn around because maybe it's just like not part of the game plan yet. Like I know that Henry's gotten so many touches, and like you got to think he's like closer to the playoffs. Like, are they gonna kind of scale back his touches? Like what are they gonna do? That's like a whole situation. Like whether they're gonna be in contention for that or not. Josh Allen, that's definitely like a QB1. Like I wanted to draft him. But I did not.
And he had one really good Josh Allen week, but he's still QB7 right now. So wait for Josh Allen to start taking off. He also has the number 1 defense right now and the top 5 kicker.
Yeah, Josh Allen's going to be popping off for sure.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, this team's good.
What do we think he needs to work on?
Tight end.
I think so too, and RB2 obviously. I know he has Damian Williams that he picked up for $56 FAAB. But he needs a running back too. Maybe flip one of those wide receivers like Jamar Chase, and like a Jamar Chase for David Montgomery trade wouldn't be that bad. Like that'd be a pretty good trade to make. And I have David Montgomery and he has Jamar Chase, so that wouldn't be that bad of a deal. Just throwing out feelers. Where is he? Where is he on this thing?
Well, since we already have filled up with the the championship contenders, I mean by default on the cusp, but Vinko, like if there was another spot for contender, you'd be in there. So
what do you mean? We can fill up as many contenders as we like.
Oh, we can?
Oh, yeah, okay. It's not limited.
Oh, so it's not limited. Yeah. This is a contender because if you think
championship contender.
Josh Allen, Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, I think that can carry him really far. I think if he gets a running back, I would put him on the cusp, but it's your pod, so we could put him on the I would put him on the cusp until he gets a better running back too. Once he gets a better running back too, then I think he's to the moon. But championship contender he is.
If you think about it, Josh Allen, Christian McCaffrey, right? Say McCaffrey drops 35, Josh Allen gets 30, which is very realistic. Like very realistic in a lot of scenarios. That's 65 points right there.
Yeah, he needs the rest of his team to make up 65 to have a good week.
Which is unbelievable. Like AJ Brown, he's got Jamar, yeah. I'll say like that RB2 spot, like a little bit weak, but I love the rest of the team. I think he's just gonna have to do some work, trying to be smart and like trade correctly. But I like the team, and I think once he figures out that RB2 slot, this team's gonna be a problem.
I agree.
And his receivers, like, they're good, but they're not J. Jeff and Metcalf, that's for sure. Definitely. So I'm hoping that carries me this week against.
Definitely not. Oh, are you playing him? No. Yeah, you are playing him. Oh, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Number 7 in the power rankings this week is DJ, touchdown syndrome. DJ's number 7 in the power rankings, and DJ also made a trade this week. He traded with Joe Nichols. Joseph Nichols. Nope, I don't want to go to Joseph Nichols, bottom feeder orphan boy. I want to go to touchdown syndrome. Okay. So he made a trade. He gave away Antonio Gibson Antonio Gibson, Michael Thomas, and Cordero Patterson. And in exchange, he received Josh Jacobs, Marvin Jones Jr., and Josh Jacobs, Marvin Jones Jr., and what else did he get? Is that it? Oh, and Calvin Ridley. Because Calvin Ridley's out. Yeah, and Calvin Ridley. I was confused for a second. Calvin Ridley. So what do we think about that? What do we think about what his team looks like now with the trade? And what do we think if he has anything that he still needs to work with? Where is he on the board?
Let's see. I mean, I think this is a good team. I like Jones. I like Jacobs. Deontay Johnson's good. Marvin Jones good. I think DJ. I think he's had some bad luck with like injuries like so far.
Yeah, definitely.
But knowing his track record as far as like team management, if there's anybody, it's going to turn it around.
I mean, the fact that his team looks the way it does when he's had Michael Thomas out, Jerry Jeudy out, Calvin Ridley out, Deontay Johnson out, like the fact that he's 2-2 and his team looks the way it does, and he's still projected 128 this week, like he knows what he's doing.
Oh yeah, he definitely knows what he's doing. This team's good. This team's really, really good. And I think given Antonio Brown on the bench, Calvin Ridley. Oh man, when Ridley comes back, this team's
DJ actually has DJ is usually the running back king, but he actually has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He actually has like 8 startable wide receivers on his team.
He does.
Healthy. Calvin Ridley, Jerry Jeudy, that's 2. 3. I like Renfro's kind of startable, like maybe in a deeper league.
I think Renfro's startable.
So is Mooney. Like Mooney right now is kind of startable. Like you could start him as if you on an injured, and then Antonio Brown. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, he has 8 wide receivers. Somebody could start.
And if I know DJ, that's like that because a lot of those guys are going to go off, and he's going to trade for them, and then he's going to get his running backs one way or another. That's my prediction. He knows what he's doing. So he's a big time dark horse manager. Like not even dark horse, like high key, like good manager. So I don't see where he needs improvements here, to be honest with you. I just think he needs people to get healthy. That's his improvements. Yeah, when this team gets healthy, it's gonna be good. I mean, I don't really see any. There's so much depth here. There's so much depth there.
Yeah, I don't see like this is the first thing that I'm looking at where there's nothing I would change here other than people getting healthy. So, where is he on our board?
So I'll kind of say it like this, right? If there's still injuries, it's going to be on the Cusp team.
I agree.
Get healthy, but like with everybody healthy, this team's going to be dangerous.
Yeah, I think he's on the cusp right now because of his injuries. Number 8 on the power rankings this week is Fischel Dumbo. Chris Scantlebury is number 8 on the power rankings. Fischel Dumbo. This team, I really, this is like one of my top 3 favorite teams in the league. And it's just been disappointing me week in and week out. Damn it. I was supposed to say nice things about people's teams. Actually, I did. I said it's one of my favorite teams. It's just like it's underperforming. Like there's really no other way around the fact that it's just underperforming. And it's so awful because I think he has the best 1-2 running back combo in the league by far. He's supposed to have the best stack in the league by far. I mean, Brady and Godwin's close, but he's supposed to have like the best stack in the league. And then he has a bunch of viable, like he can swap Odell, Melvin Gordon, and Julio like in and around, like those 3 guys on like wide receiver and flex options. Those are sick options. I don't know, but he's underperforming. What say you?
He really is underperforming. I mean, that Dalvin Cook Zeke combo, like that's deadly. Like I'm gonna leave that at that. Herbert, I'm really not. I mean, he's good. I'm just like not that big. I don't know. Like that's like a for me that's like a on the cusp quarterback. Some weeks he can be good, like some weeks he can be bad. Like he's still like really young, so like you expect the occasional like pick or mistake, like here and there. I like it with Keenan Allen though. I mean, it's a good stack. Like those guys are like really really good.
This is one of those teams where when he puts in all his starters, like he puts in Julio instead of Melvin Gordon, like this team has the potential to score 200 in 1 week.
Oh
That's
yeah,
how good I think this team is.
easily. I mean, I hate OBJ. I just don't like him. Like I think he's a player I'd never have like on any of my fantasy teams just because like he's a talented guy, but I feel like he just like hasn't been like that good over these past couple of years, and I think he just has like a shitty attitude.
His name has been carrying him really far in fantasy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like the fact that his name is Odell Beckham Jr. like gives him credibility to be in people's lineups, but
he's like really like not that good. Like he's proven nothing over the past 2 years in terms of like being like
What do we think this team needs?
I think this team needs
to perform at its potential. That's what this team needs. And I think he could use a tight end.
It needs that. It needs Melvin Gordon to actually be good and healthy. It needs a new wide receiver too.
Well, he has Julio on the bench.
Oh yeah. Okay. I didn't see that. Okay. All right. Yeah, got it. That actually makes sense.
I actually like the Sam Darnold pickup. He's a top phase quarterback 5 right now. I actually like that a lot.
Yeah, no, Darnold's good. And to be honest, what's that matchup this week? You know what?
Hey, Philly.
Scan.
I wouldn't be. I wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. I would be okay with starting Sam Darnold over Justin Herbert this week.
Yeah, I'm starting Sam Darnold this week if I'm you, Scan.
Yeah.
50%, no question.
Yeah. No question. I could agree to that.
Yeah, I think like once this team, it will find its own. I mean, that being said,
where's this team?
This is a right on the cusp team.
Not a middle of the road.
This one, you know what? I'll bring it down to middle of the road, but I just
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. Right now, I think it's middle of the road because it's not performing. But I think he drops 140 this week. It's automatically on the cusp.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Number 9 in the power rankings this week, and I know he had such a good week, but he's still 9 on the power rankings. Bottom favorite orphan boy Joe Nichols. I think that's as high as he's been all season, so good for him. 9 in the power rankings is Joe. And I honestly, I think his team balanced itself out a little bit with the trade he made. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Again, I have to say good things about everybody's team today.
Yeah,
Deebo Samuel has been the steal of the draft so far, by far, 110%, hands down, no questions asked. Deebo Samuel is the steal of the draft. So hats off to you for doing that. It's the steal of the draft.
Yeah. Agree with that. Love that. What else do I love? I like Mahomes. Jonathan Taylor. I'm not really that high on Jonathan Taylor. I'm just not that high on the Colts. Period. Antonio Gibson. All right. I'm looking at his bench. I think he's got. Robbie Anderson piques my interest because he'll come alive like at some point like this season. I'm sure he's always good. Yeah, I just see it's very solid. There's not really like I don't really think there's these guys in there besides like Mahomes or like Deebo Samuel that are just like those boom guys that are gonna go off and get you like 30 points.
Yeah.
Like when I
besides
look at
Mahomes.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like that. That's the only thing. with this team. Like I think it's okay though. Like I don't really have like bad things to say about it. I just think you have guys at some of these positions like starting like at 1 and 2 that are just like a little more like down toward the higher end of good and like not great.
There's nobody on this roster besides Patrick Mahomes that sticks out to you and says, I'm worried about facing that guy.
Exactly. Like, you know, I'm looking at this and like I think like listen, you have Deebo Samuel, Patrick Mahomes, like that's sexy. But like the rest of it, I don't know.
I don't know. Deebo Samuel right now is still not somebody, like I said, he's a steal of the draft and he's been going off, but he's still not somebody like, oh no, I'm afraid of Deebo Samuel. You know, so I guess that's what you said. But yeah, I'd be terrified to play against Patrick Mahomes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm also playing Joe this week, so I mean, Joe, your team is so good. GG's, like you're gonna destroy me. He actually has a lot of really good matchups this week, which is, of course. And I think the Sunday night football game is going to be one for the ages. So I expect a lot of points to be scored in that game. Yeah, man. Wow, the lineup that he has actually. So the lineup that he has set right now scored 190.22 points last week. I mean, he didn't have Cordell Patterson or Antonio Gibson in his lineup last week, obviously, but that lineup scored 190.22 last week. So
yeah,
we'll
Joe,
see.
That's impressive.
That's pretty cool. Joe,
Yeah,
where do we have Joe? Is bottom feeder Orphan Boy a bottom feeder?
I'll be nice since it's my pod and I'm a nice guy. I'll say middle of the road.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to call anybody a bottom feeder after 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people at least, but
we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Joe at number 9 in the power rankings. Number 10 in the rankings this week is Rich. Rich was 9 in Chris's power rankings and he was 11 in mine, so he's 10 in the final one. I don't know, Rich. I love again, I have to say something nice about everybody's team. I mean, he has his 2 best running backs out right now. He has Chris Carson, Sterling Shepard, and Joe Mixon not playing this week. That's rough. So I will cut him some slack. I still don't really get why he's rostering Deshaun Watson, but other than that, like, I mean, actually, like he has QB 9, running back 7, wide receiver 6, tight end 5, kicker 1. So like he's got good players at good spots. Joe Mixon's 3rd in the league in rushing. He's got good players in good spots. Again, I think this is also one of those teams like Joe's where it's just like, I mean, Russell Wilson, I'd kind of be same thing, like Russell Wilson, Pat Mahomes kind of deal, and then McLaurin, Deebo Samuel kind of deal. But other than that, like this is again one of those teams where you look at it and you're not really terrified of anybody on the lineup in particular.
On this team.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know, going off what you said, I mean, I agree with that. Like, listen, I look at it, I see like Russell Wilson, I'm like, okay, like that's QB1, okay, that's clicking for me. Swift, Collins, like, yeah, I mean, I guess like I look at both of those guys, like maybe Swift, like a super high end. Actually, no, the super low end, like RB1, I'd say. Collins, like, okay, RB2. McLaurin, he's going to have his weeks where he's going to be good. He's going to have his weeks where he's not. I feel like because Washington is kind of inconsistent. I mess with Ruggs. I think that he's going to be on the up and up throughout this season. So I mess with that as a flex. Hawkinson, decent tight end. Pittman, decent wide receiver. Yeah, I think it's just solid. It's just solid all around. I think, you know, Obviously, with Chris Carson being out, that kind of throws like a little bit of a wrench, like in his running back situation right now. But I think when Carson's back, from whatever's going on with him, since I did not follow that.
His herpes.
Yeah, the herpes. Yeah, Pete Carroll. He had like a presidential stutter. What happened?
Presidential stutter.
Yeah, so I think when Carson comes back, this team will be good. I'm gonna say like for now until like the rest of them are healthy, I'm just gonna go kind of middle of the road on this one. So Rich, you're not a bottom feeder.
Rich is not a bottom feeder.
No, Rich isn't a bottom feeder.
He's middle of the road. But he's, I don't know, a couple more weeks.
A couple more weeks, and yeah, maybe.
No, we love Rich. He's the rating champ. So number 11 at the power rankings this week is Zach. Zach is the other 1-3 team. Besides myself. Which is kind of insane. No, I love Zach.
Yeah, let me pull up Zach's team now.
I'm pulling it up on the thing.
Yeah.
Listen, man. I think Zach's team got considerably better from the trade that he made yesterday with yours truly. So go ahead.
Okay, so let me.
What's the word?
I like this team. I love Lamar at the QB spot. Like obviously, Lamar is a big part of my weekly happiness down here in Baltimore. So love that. Alvin Kamara is Alvin Kamara. Like guy's gonna be good. Like no matter where he is, he's an extremely skilled player. So he just he's the kind of guy like 1 week he'll just drop you 40 points like it's absolutely nothing. So huge boom potential there. Adam Thielen. Let's talk Adam Thielen here. I feel like Jefferson's kind of been Cousins' go-to guy. And I remember this because like on one of my other fantasy teams like last year, I had Adam Thielen and he'd be the touchdown guy and like J. Jeff would get like more volume. But this year it's an interesting dynamic to see like Jefferson like racking up touchdowns and like Thielen like not getting as many looks like in the red zone, which is a little bit surprising to me. It really is. Tyler Boyd, okay, running back too, like not. I don't think there's anything special in Tyler Boyd there at all. I think that's probably like a weak point if I had to poke one out right off the bat. Noah Fant, not really a ton of depth at tight end, so like I understand. Like I don't really like Noah Fant like from a tight end perspective. Hollywood Brown, this is a guy that has huge potential for Baltimore. Like he's a high flyer.
I love Hollywood.
He burns a lot of people deep. However, like we see some weeks where he's like clumsy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I'm really sad that I had to give up Hollywood Brown, but
yeah, that
man's got to do what a man's got to do when the injuries happen.
Absolutely, that hurts to give him up. And you know what? Like I agree. I think he's really gonna flourish for this team. But I like it. I mean, James Robinson. Let me just take a look at like some of these stats here. Let me see. I just wanted to see one thing with him.
Who are you looking at?
Yeah, I was just looking at some James Robinson stats. I think he's going to be good. And I think hopefully, like if all goes well for Zach, obviously he finishes like top, like running back, like top 10. Hopefully.
Yeah, he's 9 right now.
If he does, that's going to be good because you already know Kamara's going to be there. So you're looking at Lamar Jackson. You're looking at 2 top 10 running backs. You're looking at Adam Thielen, right? Who he can turn it around. Or J-Jeff can kind of like, all it takes is one of them to get hurt to have like a number one.
It's funny. I had Kamara and Adam Thielen 2 years ago, and I got last place. So
Oh man.
who
Oh man.
knows?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, I like the team. It's not a. I mean, oh God, this is gonna be something.
I still don't like after the trade that he made with me. I don't. Maybe I don't see where he needs an improvement now. Like maybe a better, maybe a better wide receiver too. If you could trade Jalen Hurts and Tyler Boyd for a better wide receiver too, I would definitely try to do that. But other than that, I think the trade that he made with me kind of completed his team a lot. So um I think he might agree to that. Where do we have him on the four categories?
You know, this is again one of those things. How am I? So I'm looking at this lineup, like Lamar Jackson, Kamara, James Robinson, two going to be top 10 running backs, and Lamar Jackson, Adam Thielen. How I can't call that a bottom feeding team. Can you?
Yeah. No, that's a really good core four right there. I like it a lot. I've said it for a while.
All this shows is us like not being able to like say like a lot of teams are bad. Just shows you how good like this league is about like thinking out their picks, like creating a balanced team. Like this league is close. It's close every
I mean,
year.
there's 2 3-1 teams. There's 8 2-2 teams, and there's 2 1-3 teams. And every single one of those teams that have those records could easily have different records. Like
Yeah.
I could easily be 4-0. Rich could be 4-0.
Yeah.
Ante probably should be 4-0. Like it's nuts. So I don't know, man. And then so we have him as the middle of the road, I'm guessing. Yeah.
Yeah, I have this team in the middle of the road.
And then last in the power rankings this week is Grant.
Oh, yeah.
So Grant's last in the power rankings. And once again, I will block his name.
Grant.
And I will share it afterwards. Like, let me see.
Yeah, I'm actually pulling up his team like right now.
Okay, so I'm sharing it with the league. So I think he's the only team in our league that's projected under 120 this week. No, maybe Joe was projected 119. But I love his tight end. I love his tight ends. He's got tight end 1 and tight end 2, which is exactly what he wanted.
Yeah, honestly.
And he's got my new Greg Zuerlein. Daniel Carson's my new favorite kicker. Greg Zuerlein, me and him broke up a long time ago. Now it's me and Carlson, and I really want him. Yeah. But
this team.
Wow, Robert Woods went off tonight. He's got 27. That's good.
Wow. That's good. That's good for Grant's case tonight. That's good. So here's my thing with this team. I know Grant has like a different madness to the way he drafts, like very unorthodox picks, like from him that like I've seen like over the years, and like usually I think it works out for him like a lot better than this would work out for him. I mean, Darren Waller, Travis Kelce, like yes and no. Like they are 2 high ceiling guys for point potential, but like the problem is that by him reaching for them, I think he just left himself like totally exposed, like at running back. Because if you look, McKissick and and Mitchell, here's the thing.
There's 2 positions on his team that he's literally throwing just darts on a board and seeing, like, he's just closing his eyes, throwing darts on a board and opening up and seeing which dart hits which person. Then he starts that individual. And that's 2 of his, and forget about if that it's running back, like whatever. It's just 2 of his 9 positions are just like again, he's just throwing darts on a board. Who's ever projected the most out of like the rest of the million half-ass running backs on his team, that's who he's going to start that week. So
Yeah, I don't know. I hate J.D. McKissick and Elijah Mitchell running back. And honestly, I don't think you can't put it this way. In a league like this, you cannot be taking the point differentials that's going to give you at running back every single week. Think about it. What happens when you're going up against like that I forget whose team it was, with the Dalvin Cook, Zeke,
Scanterbury.
again, you realize like if they only drop 10, you can be taking like a 50-point like differential.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, week to week, Darren Waller and Travis Kelce are not going to make up for that. So I don't agree with that draft strategy. And like, Grant, like I know he likes to trade, like he likes to try to like be different, like get ahead and like, do all these crazy things. I don't know. I just, to use his term, I think he Hiroshima'd himself with
Hiroshima himself.
He did.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't win with that. I mean, you can. And I think like, I hope for his sake it doesn't happen. I mean,
look at like there's 7, so kickers and defenses can vary week to week. So realistically, you have to set 7 guys in your lineup every single week, and those are the guys that you draft, and those are the guys you trade for, and those are the guys that you're confident will help you win. Defense and kicker is literally just, unless you have, Justin Tucker, it's just a shootout. It's a crapshoot. Unless you have maybe Bills defense, it's just a crapshoot. Most weeks, and you're just streaming or doing whatever. So the 7 positions, flex, tight end, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and your quarterback, that's the meat to everybody's fantasy team.
It is.
And right now, he has 4, like before this week, he had 3 guys that he could rely on.
Yeah. And
3.5, because he can half-ass rely on Robert Woods and half-ass rely on Lockett. Like Lockett had 2 really good weeks, and then since then Lockett's had single digits, and right now he has 10.7. Robert Woods has been really bad up until he just dropped 27 now. Prescott's been good, but he's still quarterback 13 right now, and he's played all 4 games.
And another aspect of what I don't like about this, say for example, right, your running back, your wide receiver, there's a lot more depth at those positions than tight end, right? So you think about it this way. Either Waller or Kelce goes down, you're literally going to have to put a scrub in there who's going to get you literally 5 points.
You're talking about just at the tight end position or just in his position in general?
In his position in general.
Well, he would have to put in T. Higgins.
Yeah, but still.
I don't know. Like I said, I really like the tight ends, but I don't know. I've been saying it every week. I just really wouldn't be comfortable starting half the team he starts. But again, that's just me.
Yeah.
Where do we have him in the 4 categories?
Oh man.
I think he deserves it. No, I'm kidding. Nobody's a bottom feeder. Maybe. It's up to you. It's your pod.
Put it this way. This team is 1 injury away from being a bottom feeder.
So he's middle of the road.
Yeah.
Nobody's a bottom feeder. Congratulations, everybody. Nobody made the bottom feeders this week. That might be subject to change. Your final power rankings for week 4. Ante, Josh, Chris Cataldo, Keenan, Marco Vinco, DJ, Chris Scanterbury, Joe, Rich, Zach, Grant. A couple more things before we wrap up. Best worst dark horse managers. Who's your best manager, Chris?
DJ.
DJ's your best manager. Well, because he's handling his injuries so well.
Yeah, and and I'm gonna come back to that team and I can give you like a reason for why. And I wish I could share my screen right now to show you guys that I don't have DJ under second manager as my team, because I don't.
You could share your screen. I would let you, but that's
well, it's on my other monitors that I have going on. Yeah, guys, if you see me looking around a lot, doing all this stuff,
he's still working.
I have a monitor here, I have a monitor there, I have a monitor behind this computer, and then I'm all just talking to some of my managers in the background. But DJ's team. So let's look, and I'll give you a breakdown of exactly why I'm saying this. So the injury is given, right? Look at all these wide receivers on this team: Brown, Mooney, Renfro, and Renfro's going to be good. Marvin Jones, Deontay Johnson,
like we said, he's got eight guys that I would be okay with putting slotting in a spot.
Yeah, there's going to be times like in the season, like when star running backs go out and the backups, are going to get looks. And, the good thing with DJ's team is that he'll be able to flip some of these starting guys for that and just literally win games just based off that. So being able to okay, let me dump this because it doesn't really matter to me. Like I can't play them, and he'll slot like a RB1 in there, and he's going to go up. And I think it's a good strategy. So he's just staying ahead of the curve.
Yeah, he's got tons of pieces, tons of trade pieces. DJ, your best manager. Who's your worst manager?
So Marco, you guys, the game like Russian roulette, right?
Yeah.
Like when everyone goes around the table with a gun,
yeah, there's one bullet in the chamber and everybody's spinning the revolver.
Yeah. And it just there's a lot of risk there. And when I think about risk versus reward in fantasy, Grant's team is so risky. He's got stones for doing what he did. I wouldn't do it, but good for him. But I don't know. I don't like that move as a manager at all. I don't know. I really don't like that.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason why I have to say it. And honestly, Grant, the only I'm not even trying to single you out for that, but I just think just from me looking at it, I don't think anyone's done something dumb yet, or I can immediately point them out and be oh, you're an idiot for doing that. No, it's too early.
The funny thing
by default, just because of the running back situation.
he's also last in the league in points scored. So
yeah, you have to be that for you. Have to be that
and his The funny thing is, and I know Grant will say this, but the funny thing is, we're saying Grant's the worst manager because his strategy didn't work out. But if his strategy worked out, he would be the best manager. So, but again, like you said, it's risk reward. You're either the best and a wizard, or you were in over your head about what you thought was going to be good. So,
I think his team's a Russian roulette game.
Yeah, that's what I think. Who was your dark horse? That was a Bud Light can, by the way.
Oh wait, so I already have.
That's our new sponsor, Bud Light.
Sponsored by Bud Light.
Sponsored by Bud Light and Hydro Flask.
Wait, so dark horse manager. This one, I'm going to my boy Scans on this because
he loves being a dark horse, Dumbo.
I know he makes a lot of moves. He makes some sneaky moves, but I think he's always in the back scheming. And there's been a lot of times he's giving the trades always come off as fair, but I feel like Stan always in the back knowing something that you don't know.
The trades actually come off to me. The trades that he makes come off as dude. I text him every single trade he makes. Most of the time I'm I don't know why you did that. And then a week later I'm just wow, you absolutely fleeced him.
Yeah,
every single time. I'm what do you have, a crystal ball over there? What's going on in that big dome of yours?
He's back in the lab right now. Actually.
Literally, he's probably cooking right now in the lab. Yeah.
He's cooking up. He's cooking up 100%.
Yeah, he's gonna be your dark horse. Yeah, he's one of my dark horses too.
All his trades he's on the winning side. Somehow, some way. I don't know how he does it,
but let's predict some matchups. So nobody's been better than 3 for 6 this year so far. So you have a chance to really roll the dice and start getting some good predictions. And I think Zach went 3 for 6.
Okay. I'm looking at the matchups. I have my phone up right now.
Me versus Joe is the first matchup.
Okay, let me pull that one up. Okay. So this one, just we're gonna do this. I'm gonna have to go Marco on this one.
I hope so. If I go 1-4, I'm just gonna delete the app.
I think Brady is gonna absolutely curb stomp the offense defense.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. So everybody that's picked my matchup has got it wrong.
I'm gonna get it right this week.
Hopefully, everybody is. So yeah, so if you picked me, you got it wrong. If you didn't pick me, you got it wrong. So everybody's picked my matchup incorrectly so far. Which means my matchups have been very unpredictable. Vinko versus yourself.
Oof, let me see right now. Let me pull that bad boy up. Oof, DK would go off my G. Man, I have to say.
Oh, you can't cheat. You can't use the fact that DK already played.
Oh yeah, I have to say. Okay, so taking that aside, we're projected literally 133.3 versus 133.4.
Oh shit.
That game, it's gonna be a shootout. I think we're both dropping in excess of 140 this week. That's what I think. I think it's gonna be a shootout.
But
I'm gonna have to say Vinko though.
I hate when people do that.
Back. I don't know if I see myself winning this week.
I hate when people do that.
If McCaffrey's McCaffrey this week, I don't know.
Josh versus Ante. Oh, the battle of 1 versus 2. The winner of that matchup will be number 1 in the power rankings next week, probably, barring anything crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say Ante.
That's a really important matchup because if Ante loses that, he's 2-3 with a really good team.
Yeah.
And if Josh wins, he's 4-1 and he's steering clear of everybody else.
Yeah, I don't know. Josh's team.
But if Josh loses, he's 3-2. Ante is also 3-2. Then it gets a little tight. So that's a pretty important matchup.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna predict an
Ante win. DJ versus Keen. Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
Just like I don't think so. If Josh wins this week, I don't think his team's a 4-1 team. It's just not.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I don't think any of. I don't think there should be like any spread like that big. No one's that much better than anybody else.
Yeah. DJ versus Keenan. This is actually a really interesting matchup.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look at the matchups side by side. I'm gonna say I'm gonna have to go with DJ on this one, just because I think Jones is gonna really shine this week against Cincinnati.
Aaron Jones is due for a big game.
Yeah, I think he is, and I think Jacobs is also gonna run all over Chicago.
Grant versus Zach. The loser of this one is probably going to be last in the power rankings, barring anything crazy.
Sheesh, I don't know. I mean, you know what, Grant? I'll show you some love.
Wow.
I'll take you on this one. I had to. You know what?
We've been pooping on him a lot today, so.
Yeah, Kelsey and Waller, I'll probably go off this week.
And then Scantlebury against Rich. That's a good matchup as well. Oh, that'll be a matchup of the trade to see if Zeke goes off on Rich's dome after trading him away so early.
Sheesh! Oh man, I gotta go scans on this. I mean, come on! Like when I look at this team, I look at Dalvin Cook and I look at Zeke, and I'm just like, that's monstrous.
I'm surprised you didn't pick all the good guys this week. I mean, you picked some, but I don't know. You didn't pick. You picked me, DJ, and Chris. But Vinko want to take Grant. Oh, you didn't pick a lot of the good guys.
Yeah, no. Vinko and Ante, as far as I'm concerned, total villains in this league. Like honestly, a loss for them is like a win for me. Like
it's a win for the rest of the league.
Yeah, like literally when they lose, like I can lose that same week, and like I'll wake up like that Tuesday, and like usually it's depressing, but I'll look at it and be like, oh, like Vinko lost, like amazing.
I'm fine. I'll take my L. I don't care.
So man. I'm just hoping. I need to deliver L's to Vinko, Ante. And I think Josh is like in that bucket now too, to be honest.
But you picked Vinko to beat you.
I know. I mean, I want to beat him, but I'm saying like I don't think it'll happen.
Interesting.
But
interesting. I'm not. It's kind of crazy how most people come on the pod and pick against themselves. Like I would again, I said it last week. If I was on the pod as a guest, me by a million, bro. Like, are you
Well,
kidding me? I'm literally curb stopping that bitch. Get out of here. It's my episode.
Smart money isn't going to bet against McCaffrey. That's the only thing.
That's true.
It's just that is what it is. That situation. Like, what I love to see, like myself, give Binko an absolute beat down this week. Absolutely.
I hope you drop like 165 on his dome.
Man, oh my god.
Do you remember our matchup from like 2 years ago?
What was it? It was like
you beat me 173 to 162.
Oh shit!
Or something like
Yeah,
that.
I do remember
Bro,
that.
I was so pissed. I was like, come on.
That's a Buster's matchup for sure.
173 to 162. Damn. And then our matchup this year, you beat me by 0.06, and we both left 28 points on our bench. So even if we started everybody that we could have started to make it better, I would have beaten you by 3/4 of a point. That's how close we were.
Yeah,
which is so crazy.
Insane. Like some of those matchups, like it just gets so close, like you can't even make that up. It's just like unbelievable.
So
wait,
crazy.
Hold on. I'm looking at the standings right now. Schlong division.
Yeah, that's what I think is. We're the Schlong division.
Oh my god, Josh, I hate you.
It's been like that for years. The Schlong.
Really,
division.
I've never noticed it because I'm never on my computer. I'm always on the phone. That's funny.
Yeah. Well, I didn't address my hat today. I'm wearing a Nationals hat because my man Chris has got a spot in DC now that he's gonna be working. He's gonna be working from. So congrats on the new position. When are you starting?
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm finishing out. Q3 for the accounting job I have now, and we're gonna be gone.
Moving on up to bigger and better things, and Chris will not be working at midnight anymore, hopefully. But yeah, he's got the offices in DC now, so I'm repping DC for him. And bro, best of luck to you. Let's get it.
Thank you. Well, you already know I'm going right back to work after this pod. So, Marco, the break that you have given me has been
it's been riveting, right? You've been a beast all night, Chris. Thanks for coming on tonight. Appreciate it.
Of course.
Guys, sorry this is happening on Thursday night, but pod on Thursday night is better than no pod. Yeah, it's for a good cause. And a pod on Thursday night is better than no pod at all. Live from New York City and Baltimore, Maryland. This is the Dirty Dozen podcast. We'll see you next week. Till next time.
Signing off.
Ciao, ciao. Oh.